everyone, so today I have the introduction to my no spending year. I can't believe I'm actually doing this. Wow, I technically started this on December 1st. I know this is gonna go up tomorrow as a bonus video in Reneemas because technically I am posting every other day until Christmas this month, but there is going to be some extra videos because there is more content than I have planned to put up, and I just felt like the sooner I put out this specific video, the better, even though it wasn't quite planned because I hadn't quite decided if I wanted to do a whole year of no spending. So, I've definitely been inspired by Hannah Louise Poston here on YouTube. I know LS is doing a year of no buying, and I've also been inspired by Kate Flanders. She was basically the one that kind of, I want to say, in my personal opinion, started the whole no spend, no buy trend. She did a whole year of no spending. I want to say it was back in 2016, and then she did it again for a second year, and it kind of led her more onto a minimalist lifestyle. And I was reading her story and also following Hannah through her no buy year. And in the beauty community, I want to say I am not necessarily a person that like constantly like buys and buys and buys skincare and buys makeup, and I've mentioned this before when I tried to do a no buy and I felt like I failed at it. So interesting enough, the reason I want to do a no spend year is just because, you know, makeup isn't my issue, skincare isn't my issue, clothing's a little bit of an issue, hobbies an issue, but it just, to me, I don't know how and I don't know why it doesn't add up until like why I feel like I don't have money. Also, events is a new one, which is I realize. Events is definitely an issue for me as well. So the reason why I want to do specifically a no spend year, and this one of these reasons might sound a little frivolous to some of you guys and so extra and unnecessary, but this is specifically why I'm doing it. There's three main reasons, and then like a lot of like little ones that fall. So the first one is the car that I have is a PT Cruiser. It is a 2006 car, and it's starting to give me a lot of trouble, and I feel like the maintenance on it is soon creeping up to like I'm putting more maintenance in the car than what the car is worth. So I want to say I have about a good year and a half left with my car. So the main reason I really want to do a no spend year is to save up for a new car. And you know, I'm not going to buy like a brand spanking new car, but I definitely want to save a good chunk of money, and that chunk of money is $15,000. That is a lot of money, but I want to get a car that is going to last, that has been lightly used, and isn't going to cause as many problems as my super older used car is. So ideally I'd want to get like a 2015, a 2016 car. So that's why I'm setting that type of goal on myself. So that is my main reason. I guess I'll go on to the next reason. The second reason is because I really want to go on a trip in 2019 and 2020 as well. So in 2019, I really want to go to Seoul, South Korea. It's not going to be too expensive a trip because I do have a good friend of mine that currently lives in Korea. I believe she's about an hour to 2 hours away from Seoul, so I'd really be staying with her. And I know I was looking at Airbnbs at Seoul and it's pretty cheap, and she could be like my way around, and I've just been interested in Korean culture and it'd be a great place to visit. I've been a low-key a K-pop fan since, I want to say since 2011, so it's not like now that it exploded I'm like suddenly like a fan. No, I've dabbled into it here and there since 2011, and I just think it would be fun to visit a place. I watched a lot of K-dramas. I think K-dramas are so dramatic, but I love drama, so I just think it'd be great to visit, and it's a more affordable type of trip, not one that's gonna cost too much. And then in 2020, I either want to go to Italy or I want to go to Paris. So that also requires saving, and I really want to get started on it. So it's not like a trip that I'm super stressed about. And again, my main thing for saving in 2019 is going to be for a car, because that's kind of crucial. And last but not least, this is going to be like the most extra, probably unnecessary thing that I do, but it's something I really want, is I want to save up for my first Chanel bag. And I know that sounds like so superficial, and I don't care what you think, because it is what I want. I grew up where everything has to be like, I grew up, I don't necessarily live there anymore, where it's like who you wear, what you wear is like, fashion is the passion, however that song goes. So I definitely don't live in that type of world. I'm not interested in living that type of world, but some of the luxuries of that world kind of do really interest me, because I grew up like not necessarily like idolizing it, but wanting it, and like, ooh, this prestigious item, even though it's just a purse. But you know what, it's okay, I want it, that's what I want to save for. And yeah, so so that's a big other purchase. That's a lot of things I have to save for. I'm not really going to talk more about it, because it is what it is. No one can change my mind on it. Yes, I know it's technically a third. Buying one is like a third of the savings for a car, but I'm not necessarily trying to buy it like at the end of 2019. I at least want to save half of it in 2019, and then in 2020, if I go to Paris, I would ideally want to purchase it there, because it is actually cheaper in Europe to buy designer brands, because usually all the designer brands come from Europe, so you don't have to pay for imports or all of that stuff. I bought my first Chanel item, like not like a beauty item, like first item, when I went to Paris this summer, and it was about $100 cheaper than if I would have bought it here. And yes, it was still expensive, but you know, if you can say, I mean, yeah, like I paid for the whole trip and that whole experience, but I mean, you save a little bit of money. So that's mainly why I want to do a no spend year, just because those are my main priorities, I guess. And not to say that a Chanel bag is my priority. Obviously, a car is my priority, but you know, I at least would love to save at least half of the worth of the bag, and then save the other half the next year, or if I could save the whole thing, even better. But of course, car is my number one. So yeah, that's why I really want to do a no spend year. I do have rules to this no spend year, just so it's, you know, I have them written down in my journal. So in regards to beauty products, it's going to be a replacement only, and I really don't see myself running out of anything besides mascara, eye cream, moisturizer, serum. Everything else I'm pretty solid on. I don't think I will need anything else, so just those. And again, beauty products has never been my issue. I have enough to last me a very long time, and realistically, a lot of those things will probably go bad by the time I even get to even using them up. And that's just the mentality I've been this last year and like the year before. So I know beauty products isn't an issue. Like the only thing I have like on my wish list for beauty or like makeup items is a Charlotte Tilbury lipstick in Bond Girl and the Dolce Vita eyeshadow palette. Those are literally the two things that I want, and that's it. And in regards to that, if I get gift cards, or if somebody wants to gift it to me, like I will use the gift cards on it, / I will let them buy it for me, because I'm not spending my own money. So gift cards isn't money that's coming out of my pocket that I work for, so I'm okay if I get it, actually purchasing it, or like actually purchasing it with the gift card or the gift, because it's not my own money. So this replacement thing is really my hard-earned money that I worked, and that's just the logic that I have for it. I'm not necessarily like, I don't have a makeup gremlin that's like eating inside of me is just like, you have to get that precious lipstick. Like, it's not the scenario for me. So that's why I have like that little exception to this rule. Like, if I get a gift card, I can get what I want as long as I don't go over that gift card amount. Something that is an issue for me and that I won't be spending on at all whatsoever is clothing. I have clothing to last me for freaking ever, and I've done a pretty good job this last year of not buying fast fashion. I think this whole entire year I've only purchased fast fashion, I want to say maybe about 5 times in a whole year, because I have really opened my eyes to that industry and I really want to be more sustainable with my clothing. And I've been trying to buy secondhand, and I have bought a lot of things secondhand, and they're quality pieces, and I just feel like fast fashion, there's no quality in that. So although yes, I have purchased a lot of clothing, even though it's used, none of it was like, not a lot of it at least was brand new, which I'm very proud of. So that's why in 2019, I believe, or I don't know, it's gonna be a struggle, but just no clothing whatsoever, because I really don't need anything at all. And I have events I'm gonna go to, like I'm gonna go to Coachella again, and last year I did allow myself to buy stuff for Coachella, and last year technically this year, because we're still in 2018, I still allowed myself to buy clothing for my Europe trip, but this year I'm not gonna do that. So Coachella, all the outfits are coming out of my closet. If I go to Seoul, I'm just not gonna pre-buy clothing. And that's another exception that I do have, is that if I do go on this trip, which I'm trying my best to make happen, I'm allowed to purchase a couple of things. I will set a limit on that, just so I don't go crazy, but it will be something like I will have to swap out things. So like I'll have to get rid of things to give space to those new things. I will start budgeting for a lot of things. Like I will do like cash envelopes and all of that, and I will touch more upon that in my financial goals for 2019, where I go into more specifics about why of certain things / my no spend year. Spending money on school and work is okay, and by work I mean that I am going to be moving to the daytime. It's been a year that I've been working graveyard shifts, and it's gonna be a lot more standing on my feet and all of that stuff, and I have plantar fasciitis, and it's just because I've worn down like my heels and like my feet from working retail. And I know, oh poor you, but like I really have, like my heels are like, they're not round, they're pretty flat. So I would buy special shoes. I will have to, I'm starting to research, I'm really researching, since that switch hasn't happened yet, and it probably won't happen until after the holidays. I'm not rushing on doing or on getting those special shoes, just because working that graveyard shift, I did have like an hour to 2 hours of where I could just, I guess it's more like 3 hours out of an 8-hour shift that I could technically be sitting. So that really is going to be gone when I go to the daytime, and that's going to really take a toll on my feet. So I really want to take care of them because health is a priority. Spending on new hobbies, I cannot invest in any new hobbies. So that's like investing in a lot of things. Like I used to be a dancer, so I could take dance classes. I still have a couple dance shoes, and unless they're literally falling apart, like I'm not investing in them. I can't buy like new paints or new journaling stuff or any of that because I have enough, and I can easily blow my money on that. So no investing in hobbies, and because I already have like what I could possibly need. And last but not least, I think, yes, last but not least, it's okay to spend my money on gifts for others, because my love language is gift giving, and it's just like, I don't know, it's unfair for me to receive gifts from people but me not being able to give gifts from them, and I think it's totally fine to give gifts to other people. But of course I will be budgeting for those things. And again, I will talk about that more in my financial plans for 2019. But because I started on December 1st, it's going to be a whole year, so technically till next December. So it'll be interesting because I tend to buy a lot of things ahead for like gifts and stuff. So I guess that technically still is okay. But I could be a shopaholic. Like, I have been a shopaholic and have shopaholic tendencies. So I will be doing like monthly updates to see how I'm doing and all of that stuff, my temptations, and hopefully I can save for everything that I want to save and more. So that is basically it. I am going to, again, we will see how I do after a month. I am getting all these emails from like Sephora and Ulta, and they're just like sending out like coupons, like making rain coupons and coupons from everyone because it is the holidays. So it really is a challenge for me right now. I have like that temptation, and not a gremlin, but I have that temptation to just like spend the money because coupons are coming out and blah blah blah. So we'll see how I do after a month. I know a lot of people are actually doing no spends this no buy this year. The trend is really catching on, and I actually really love that because, you know, we have been in such like in a consumerist way, and I kind of have talked about this, and like we've all been big consumers this year and in the last couple of years. So I think this anti-consumer movement is such a great thing, just to even like nip it in the bud for a while and like significantly reduce it, because we really, none of this stuff is gonna come with us to like whatever you believe in, where you go after you die. You won't be able to take anything. So is everything really bringing value to your life? Probably some stuff, not everything. So I'm really happy a lot of people are doing this. If you are planning on doing whether it's a couple months in the year or a month, even if you don't do it for a whole year, or if you do, like, we all need to support each other, because this is a hard thing to do. Like, we have been so wired as humans to shop and get what we want, and I am known for, if I want something, I will get it. Like, my boyfriend always says, like, I'm really hard to shop for because he never knows what I want because I always buy it, or he never knows what to get me because I always get what I want. So it'll be an easy year for him, and I will be telling him what I want and other people what I want, because I cannot spend my own money. And I'm okay with doing that because I want my money to be invested in certain things. But yeah, so let me know if you guys are doing this. It's going to be definitely a challenge, but I think with the support of everyone, we can all get through this. So I will see you guys all in my next video. Bye.